now we're actually playing with super fresh, super new firmware 1.0.
Well, that part's not really something you want to advertise, dude.
So,
Great. No problem.
all right.
Well, we should start the show.
Yeah, let's do that. We got new gear today. We got new gear. And okay.
This is it's a new beginning for photographers and cars.
It
Spencer,
is.
introduce yourself to these fine folks.
Spencer Pablo, thank you for letting me introduce myself.
The reason I did that is because if you go back and check out the previous episode,
so
Spencer was
painful.
tongue-tied and he was only like 3 hours asleep, and
So
he just kind of barely
bad.
got my name out. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
I'm Spencer Pablo. Hello, all. I'm a Sony artisan of imagery and a big nerd.
That's good. And I'm Scott Davenport. I am not as big a nerd as Spencer, although I do have geekery at times.
And today is one of those days where I'm going to be one of those geeks.
Because of the new you know what? I'm not even going to ask yet about the shoot we just did.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to talk about all the little gizmos that are hanging off the windshield and on the dash and everything. So go for it.
So if you look back, we recorded... If you go to our origin story, which we may at some point release, we were recording on an iPhone, an RX100, and then an A5100 camera. So, we have the A5100 is a great camera, but it's also like a quarter of a decade old, which in Sony years is
It's like
my great
dog years. It's like dog years. Yeah.
So now we're actually playing with super fresh, super new firmware 1.0.
Well, that part's not really something you want to advertise, dude.
RX0s. These are Sony RX0s.
Yeah.
I literally got them, but man, getting these things were tough because of FedEx. And yeah.
Well, that's weird because I ordered one on Sunday. It'll be here tomorrow.
Cool.
But what was your issue?
So
what happened?
I ordered these beasts a couple weeks ago, and then it was set to be delivered yesterday, and I kind of hung out right by my front door, just waiting for the doorbell to ring. And I'm just sitting there, I'm eating lunch. Usually the FedEx delivery is middle of the day. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. They're usually here by now. And then I get an email saying that my packages were delivered. And I was like, I've got cameras literally facing, like security cameras facing the front. None of them said, hey, there's a person who dropped off anything or detected a person. But apparently all three, a couple $1,000s worth of gear was delivered to my front door. FedEx... It wasn't delivered to my front door. It was delivered elsewhere. And so, yeah, all three of these things were delivered to another place. And I was on the phone, I want to say for about half an hour, kind of frantically going, hey, where are these extremely new products? And so you call it FedEx and there's like a central hub. And then they have to talk to the regions, right? And so someone from the central hub had to talk to the San Diego region or the Chula Vista region, I'm not sure. And then... they then had to talk a third leg, right, to the driver. And the driver was like, oh, you know what? I delivered it, but to a wrong address. If he knew he delivered it to a wrong address, like, I don't get it.
This is his buddy's house.
It finally got to me where it went, and I just went straight for there. Like, I was like, forget FedEx. I'm not, because if I see the FedEx driver, I might just be like, dude, what's up? So I just went over there. And I said, hi, do you guys have 3 packages from B&H Photo made out to Spencer Pablo? And they're like, oh, I didn't even check to see who. They were super nice people, but by the fact that I had to go do this.
Because, you never know. Especially when they're labeled something like B&H Photo or so forth. Because, people pick up on that. I was worried about that a few years ago, 2 years ago. When I upgraded my Mac. I got one of those, ginormous...
The iMac?
Yeah. And I was like, how are they going to ship this
Those are little boxes, too, aren't they?
It's like, how are they going to ship this? And it came in this huge, trapezoid-shaped thing, completely unmarked. It was just brown cardboard. So as far as the label, it doesn't say Apple. It says,
So it could be an Ottoman.
It could have been an Ottoman.
It could,
a very heavy one. But I thought that was kind of cool. Is that the labeling, even the shipping label, it didn't say Apple computer on it. It just it said some distribution center in Palo Alto. It's like,
no, B&H Photo has a very unique tape that they use.
Well, like Amazon and Adorama and any of them, they all have that thing around it, and it's like, well, if that gets delivered to the wrong spot, somebody might just go, oh, look, I've got cool stuff.
So that's what
happened.
But
now you've got cool stuff. You got your own cool stuff.
I did. And so I also got another thing, this little beast here, the RX.
Little beast. It's like,
actually, the reason I say it's a little is because in this thing, it's a 600 it can go to 600 millimeters. Look at the size of this. It's
not an interchangeable lens.
No, it is not.
The camera. Okay.
But this one here was delivered by UPS, and man, they got it. It was delivered.
And they have those like very stylish brown shorts.
They do. Mm-hmm. They do. Yeah, you know what? UPS has I've never really had an issue with UPS. Mm-hmm. I can't say, knock on wood, but anyway, so that's what is the new gear we have in this car.
You feel good? You got some gear talk out because I'm not as much of a gear guy.
I got one more. One more. Did you not? God. Did you turn off the internet today? Because
I was waiting for you to not bring this up. I also just realized, I think we actually got our cameras crossed because I remember I was turning over here and I was expecting that to be pointing at me and it wasn't. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna. You know what? We're gonna fix it right now. Get that monitor up there. Get that. We're gonna fix it right now.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah. Watch this. Here we go. All right. So we're gonna turn this. We're gonna turn this. And is this going to work?
Oh,
you know what?
This is what we're doing.
This is not going to work.
No, because it's
so
too
wide. Yeah, so all right, we're going back to me. We're going to do that. And I have to remember that if I'm going to be facing you and want to say hi and do something, I got to turn over here and talk to, well, not you.
We might need to mount these like centrally.
Centrally here, yeah. Okay, well, it's good. The little sidebar. So anyway, so what's this thing that I heard that the electric internet had announced today?
So today is the first day of Photo Plus over in New York. It's a huge photo conference trade show.
Yeah, every year.
Today, Sony announced the. Are you sitting down? You are sitting down. It's the.
No, I'm standing. We're photographers standing in cars.
It's the A7R Mark III.
So why are you? I'm going to play devil's advocate because I'm going to ask, why are you so excited about this camera? What is it that makes you go gaga? This
camera actually, it's bigger than all the features it has. The reason why I'm super excited for it, and yes, I'm a Sony artisan. But,
disclaimer. Yep.
But this has been an example of Sony like really listening to consumers. Because back in May, we had a Condo 1.0 event where we pretty much sat down with engineers and said, hey, what do you want in your dream camera? And I remember I posted it on my Facebook and I was like, hey, friends, I have a lot of photo friends on there. Give me features you want in your dream camera. And so what I did was I compiled that list and I kind of just, when we sat down with the engineers over who work at Sony Japan, we just like went down the list and then we wrote it down on a whiteboard. And so many of those things made it to what was announced today. Cool. You have the A7R Mark II sensor. Yeah. And pretty much the name, and it looks like exactly the same.
It looked like all the ergonomics were the same. The dials were in the same spots, everything.
Right. However, new battery. And it says it's 2.2 times, it lasts 2.2 times longer than the current generation A7R2 battery. And that's super conservative because I do remember with the A9 when I was playing with it, I was shooting over 8,000 images on one battery. 8,000 images!
Everybody got that?
On one battery! Holy moly, people!
So that means it is a battery that I cannot use the batteries from my Mark II, my A6K line. I will need new batteries.
Alas.
But which I understand that. I get that. So that's cool. So that was the one thing I saw that I thought was worthwhile. And 2 card slots. People need that in a professional body. That was cool.
A touchscreen.
That one to me is like, all right, I get it. People are used to interacting with devices that way, so you want a touchscreen.
Just wait till you try it, because I was the same. I was like, why do I need a touchscreen? This RX10 that's sitting on my dash right now has a touchscreen, and I was like, wow, this is going to change my flow.
For setting focus point, that's where I'd want it. If there's anything else where it makes it easier to navigate the disaster that is the Sony menu system.
What?
Then that would be good. It's not that you're used to it. It's not as intuitive as other camera systems.
I got you.
But if it can be, if that can be improved, that's worthwhile. What else that was in that announcement that I thought was I probably wouldn't care about? That was one of them. Pixel shift. It's like I'm not excited about that.
Okay.
I don't care. I like that it was the same sensor.
Yeah.
I was very nervous it was going to be
a
megapixel
race.
Megapixel behemoth, and I was like,
my hard drive thanks you, by the way, Sony, for not
that would have
going
been
there.
That would have. I mean, it's not like I'm not rushing out to get this camera. I've only just recently got a Mark II, but because of that, I could see myself, taking my original 7R and selling that one off and updating to a Mark III as my second camera, because it's not it's like. 5 clicks and I've just burned,
it's 10 frames per second, which is a really good, especially for something that's 42 megapixels, 10 frames per second. But it's no A9, which is 20 frames per second, which is both a blessing and a curse because, man, culling 20 frames per second is rough. It's so rough because you're excited because that sound
where that
beautiful.
would really be handy though. So. Family vacations, or no, even better, family reunion. Here's a picture of Ted at the side of the house. Here's a picture of Ted at the side of the house, but you can kind of see the front of the house. Here's a picture of Ted coming around the corner of that. I don't need that many seconds.
No, man.
Not if I style shooting. And that was kind of weird because it's really more, it's the resolution camera. It is geared toward landscape photographers. Really, the fact that it does that many. I could see it, like, for my type of shooting, I could see that being handy if I was in big surf. I want to catch that wave as it's closing down, rattle off, however many, and throw away most of them.
Sure.
But, yeah, you got to deal with the culling of it.
Yeah. But those who... a nice byproduct of this thing is the original A7R Mark II. Technically, it's not the original. The original is the A7R, but... The current A7R II, which came out middle of 2015, is still such a great camera. When it came out, it was so ahead of its time that today it's like still super. It's my most used camera.
There is something to be said for. I'd say if you're an enthusiast, you're not doing professional. That you bank your life on the camera. For staying a generation behind, because I'll bet there'll be a lot of those coming into the used market.
Yes,
there'll be there were discounts earlier in the week.
Actually, it's still and that's a nice thing.
So this is a great time to pick up,
the current generation,
the greatest hits of cameras kind of thing. That
absolutely
particular thing.
The A7R is not yesterday. Well, technically, it's yesterday's news, but the technology is so good that if you pick one up brand new right now with all of the price drops that have happened because of the release of the R3, you're going to walk away supremely happy. And technically, the R2 has a thing that I'm going to miss on the R3. And that's Play Memories, the Play Memories ecosystem.
That is gone again? I know they did with the A9. Why?
I don't know.
I don't know. But
that guy turned off. Oh no.
It sure did.
It did.
You know what? Well, you know what? Actually, go ahead and let it be off for a second, because I think that what we've just talked about in and of itself is like a show. It was just now, here's what Sony just did.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll just reset everything.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll do another show, and then that way we've got more to share with you guys and gals and everybody. And now everything's off.
Oh.
We just went dark.